what happened that there was well over 100 families in less than 3 weeks reached out. Almost all of them gave information that they want to be contacted, they want to be part of it, to hear more information. The emphasis is that it's not really such a big chiddush that this can happen, because every Yid, we'll soon hear from Rav Koldetsky, every Yid has a kesher nafshi teretz Yisrael. We've been in Chutz La'aretz for so long that we've gotten used to it, but now we see what's going on in the world as our connection to Chutz La'aretz gets weaker and weaker because of where, call it, Western society is headed, what it's reached. As that connection to Chutz La'aretz fades away, the cheshek, the natural cheshek that didn't have to Eretz Yisrael, is getting stronger and stronger. So it really isn't a chiddush that a small ad can attract so much interest. So why did we try to arrange this asifa? Why are we here tonight? It's always been a very big challenge for American families that have wanted to move to Eretz Yisrael for so long to make that decision that, you know what, we're going to go, we're going to face the challenges, we're going to do it, because we have responsibilities, our children, the schools, the language, many challenges that just made it something that seemed to us as being impossible. So, as a group, like we wrote, K'ish echad b'leiv echad, getting together, we can have the siyach l'shmaya to build a community to take care of those challenges, to start new moistas. It's possible, of course it's possible if we get together and we have enough people, siyach l'shmaya, it can be done. And it can be done probably way more than we expected to provide for us. We spoke to Chashiv and Mechanchim, we'll mention the names a little bit later, that are going to help us and guide us to set up Moistus, Be'ezus Hashem. It seems that after speaking to David Koldetsky earlier, it's about 200 plus years that there was such an attempt to have a big group from Chutz La'aretz go and start a kehila of B'nai Torah from Chutz La'aretz to go to Eretz Yisrael. A kehila of B'nai Torah that Be'ezus Hashem can open up the doors to many, many more families from America to follow, because the community will be there. Everybody, Kemat, anyone I've spoken to said, if the community would already be there, there's no question we would go. So this is the beginning, Be'ezus Hashem, of forming that community. 40, 50, 60 families that can go to even begin such a kehila will open the doors, Be'ezus Hashem, for many, many Yiddish mishpachas from America to go back home, to go to Eretz Yisrael. Be'ezus Hashem. I would like to introduce Rav Koldetsky Shlita, he's Rosh Yeshiva of Yeshivas Eitz Chaim here in Lakewood. His efforts began this Chabura over a year and a half ago. This is something that he tried to start, and as we know, the challenges over the past year plus caused things to slow down, but as far as the interest for this to happen, it intensified that much more. So Yashikoyach, Dr. Koldetsky will share with us some different Torah, different bracha.
ברוך שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. בין המצורים, normally you don't say a ברוך שהחיינו because that's not a happy time. But this event, this is the beginning of the binyan. It's not part of the churban, which is not shechiyonu. This is the binyan. We know that this time, 3,333 years ago, the Meraglim went to Eretz Yisrael, basically to make the place ready for Klal Yisrael to come. And guess what? There was a tremendous Nisoyim. And we fell through, and that's the only reason that we are today in Golus. Like the Pasuk says in Tehillim, Kuvav, it lists all the problems in the Midbar, and it says like this. Vayim'asu be'eretz chemdo. He discussed it in Eretz Chemdo. Lo yaminu b'dvaroi. They did not trust Hashem. And what's the punishment? Va'iso yodo Elohem lahapilo yisum b'midbar. Hashem promised to kill them all in Midbar. Ulahapil zaron b'goyim ulizroisom ba'avotzis. The Gzeira of Golus had begun from this Ma'aseh HaMeraglim, and that's it, which is Vayim'asu be'eretz chemdo. The Vayim'asu be'eretz chemdo, that's what keeps us in Golus today, and that's what we have to fix. I know usually people talk about fixing other stuff, but steht in Tehillim, no. This is the cause of Vayim'asu be'eretz chemdo. Because you don't care, you don't like Eretz Yisrael. That's what the Golus is. I'll give you an example. Let's say there's a husband and wife. Let's say the husband talks about, he likes certain food. He's obsessed with it. Talks about it again and again and again. So obviously, he likes this food. So a good wife that likes the husband will make him that food. The other way around also. The wife wants to go to Miami, she talks about it 100 times, so the husband knows she wants to go to Miami. So if he likes his wife, he'll take her to Miami. But if he will find someone's excuses, just, no, I can't, then you know there's something wrong over here. There's no love over here. Eretz Yisrael, anybody with any connection to Hashem Yisborach knows that Eretz Yisrael is Hashem. The whole Torah, Nevi'im, Ksuvim, Mishnayos, Bavli, Yerushalmi, Safro Sifrim, Mechilot Tosefta, everything has almost every other page something about Eretz Yisrael. So much about Eretz Yisrael. So why? Because that's what Hashem wants. So I think it's time for us to stop ignoring that. And if we love Hashem, we have to love what He wants. The best place for a Jew is Nachlas Hashem. Like Menachem said before, a Yiddish neshama belongs in Eretz Yisrael where Hashem is. The Gemara says, somebody who lives in Eretz Yisrael, in America, in Chutz La'aretz, is like he doesn't have a God. Doesn't have. Because Chutz La'aretz has Odom Malachim. He's Shivim Umois, he's 70 Malachim. Here we have Uncle Sam, he's the mouth of America. Happen to be Sam is Samach Mem, whatever. But the Ashpa comes through the Goyish Malach. Us, we have a Father in heaven. So why are we hiding from Him? Why are we staying here and let's go to Him? He loves us. He wants us to come. So what is a Golus? Golus means that we separate from Hashem. So why should Hashem come back to us if we don't want Him? You ever see a husband, Hashem separated, will go back to his wife if she doesn't want him? No. If you don't want me, I don't want you. So Hashem wants to see that we want Him. We're waiting for Him. And Hashem says, here, I gave you Eretz Chemdo. You have to, every day by davening, you have to mention, by Birkas Hamazon, which is the Raisa, you say, Nuda Hashem Akenu, Al Eretz Chemdo, Toivo, Uchov, Asher Shinchata Avisenu. Now, if we do nothing about it, so we're contradicting ourselves. What are we doing? What are we saying? Eretz Chemdo. And then what? And we stay here. Have a nice day. We just say it. So, I think it's time. We Golus enough. And Baruch Hashem, we're in a situation where the Gashmis is not anymore a problem. Take, if Panos is a problem, it's very important. You might have to stay. We are Panoso. But today, we see that God the Panoso is not an issue. There's companies that open up in Eretz Yisrael, there's computers, there's a lot of stuff that Parnasa is not a problem anymore. It comes out that there's no shitta in Rishonim that holds that there's no mitzvah to go to Eretz Yisrael. Every single Rishon holds that today is a chiyuv to go to Eretz Yisrael. Even Rabbeinu Chaim in Ksubis that holds there's no mitzvah to live in Eretz Yisrael. He says, in Maram Ortenburg, he explained because Sakona is drochim. Sakona, right? Even though the Goyen send his Talmidim by Sakona, but you have a sheet that holds if Sakona, you don't have to go. But today, I don't know whether there's Sakona more. Obviously, there's no Sakona. You get on a plane in 10 hours, you know, to Israel. You don't have to go travel a year like the first caravan from Midi Agro. It took them a year to go there to Israel. By sailboats, by whatever, and they had robberies and all kind of crazy stuff. And they went. Unser Rebbe, all the Yeshivalite, we have one Rebbe, the Goyen, the Vilna Goyen. He opened up Unser Mesoyer, we all made the Yeshivas, Volozhin, Chaim Volozhin from the Goyen. But in that room of the Goyen, the room that the Eibishter is Megale, the biggest Gilyon Torah since the Rishonim, Nigla, Nister, everything. In that room, with the Torah is Mizgala and the biggest Fanem, in that room is Mizgala the Soida Geulah. And the Goyen went to Eretz Yisrael. He wanted to go to Eretz Yisrael, and he wouldn't waste a minute of his life. But he knew this is very important. This is what Hashem wants. And for some reason he couldn't go. Some say because it's the Moshe Rabbeinu, and Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't go to Eretz Yisrael, so he also couldn't go. But he went far, he went long till he came back. So he sent his Talmidim. So some stayed in the Golus, they opened up Volozhin. Some went to Yisrael Shekel, Betel Shekel, Pilo Shekel, and many more. Saadia, many more. And they established the Yishuv today in Eretz Yisrael is all from Talmidei Agro. The Yishuv in Yerushalayim, and then they went all over the place. So today we're here to continue what they left off. We over here it's a famous story that Chaim Volozhin one day was crying after Shachris. They asked him, Rebbe, why are you crying? He said, I see the Torah is going to travel to the bottom part of the globe, which is America. And then he stopped crying. Then he cried again. I asked him, why are you crying again? He said, I don't know. And they were able to keep the Torah like we do. And then people went to, on the Holocaust, before the Holocaust, in 1940, in Vilna, they went through Vilna, the Bachrim. Reb Chaim Ozer said, I see in the Nevuah of Chaim Volozhin is Mikuyim. Now the Torah is traveling to America. That was 1940. Tucker, Baran came in 1940-41. Lakewood, unbelievable. Aaron achieved tremendous. And Baruch Hashem, Lakewood is what Lakewood is. Oh, but now is the time. We see, we've been here, okay, it's good enough. There's no reason anymore to stay. The only reason why we had to stay for some people, because the chinuch habonim. You go to Eretz Yisrael, the parents speak different language, different personalities, and the kids will get lost. Maybe that was an excuse. Maybe you could tell Hashem, listen, I know you're Eretz Chemdom, I love you, but let's say we'll pass such an excuse. But now, the Baruch Hashem, this came up, that possibility of having your own yeshuv, your own shchuna, your own moistus, your own jobs. So now what? What's the excuse? So I want to read something from Rabbi Simcha. Rabbi Simcha wrote 120 years ago like this. Hinedai Akiri, my dear should know. To show the beauty of this mitzvah, ma'aloso, lemoiso. It's no reason, the extra, what should I talk about? Kimi o Isha Israeli, which Yid could you stop it? From the first day Hashem made us into a nation. He promised him the Eretz Chemdo, and he gave us three matonos, Torah, Eretz Yisrael, V'olam Haba, Kulam Ke'echad. It basically goes on, and then everyone could see it, but it goes on and on. It says, this is Torah. Torah is Eretz Yisrael. And the Gemara says, the beauty of Torah is Eretz Yisrael. The beauty with the Chachma, you get the depth, is Eretz Yisrael. And Taka, the past 150 years that we know, most globally, either went or wanted to go to Eretz Yisrael. Even before the war, the Chacham wanted to go. Kelem purchased a property in Har Carmel to make the yeshiva of Kelem there. Reb Shimon Shkop wanted to go. Netziv wanted to go. Ritz Chaim wanted to go. Everyone knows. Many more, and many went. So that just tell you that's if there's no reason not to go, so why not? And you should. Only that's a tikkun chet hameraglim, that's a tikkun of the chulvun. And you should know, you think on yourself, well, I'm a poshta person. I'm going to start the Geula. In the last Haftorah, this Parsha, Yirmiyahu had the same question. Who am I to go to be Novi to Klal Yisrael? To many Motamid Chachomim, Gdolim, or Shives. I should go to be Novi to Mazri Yisrael B'tshuva. So Hashem tells him, Al toyma kenar noichi. Don't say I'm a nar, I'm a young, I don't know. Don't say that. La'asher eshlochach telech. Wherever I sent you, that's where you should go. Today, this in situation where we are, Yirmiyahu Hanavi, they were trying to kill him. Many times they throw him into the pit, the cement. A lot of stories with Yirmiyahu. They wanted to kill him. Obviously, it would be like a Kanievsky, famous guy, they wouldn't want to kill him. He wasn't that famous guy, but he was the Navi of Hashem. So everyone over here in this room has to know one thing, that this is a Ma'apecha. This is a revolution that's going to change everything. You don't need much. You just need to want to move, and that's enough. The Eibishter sees that you want what he wants, and everything else will be taken care of. So, more to say is needless. More to say about the mitzvah of Yeshiva Tzor, which is Shokol Kaned Kol HaMitzvahs Kulon, the Gemara says. And even the Rambam brings it down. The Ramban and our Parsha says, coincidence, this is the Ramban and our Parsha. Nachlas Hashem, and Ma'asu Be'eretz Chemdo. Look in the Rabbi in our Parsha, he talks about it. So, what's the reason for us? If everything is taken care of, why not? Why not? And the Gemara says, whoever goes to Eretz Yisrael, so either you believe it or not. If you believe it, so that's what you have to do. I asked Reb Chaim a few times about it. He was very pro. He says, Inyan Godol, his Baruch, whatever the lotion was. I spoke to Malkiel a few times about it. At that point, I want maybe should be a liquid branch in Eretz Yisrael. He was very interested. He said, let me see the Olam. But then he got sick, whatever. So I told Bishop Ribner about it. He said, he's going away. Wow, he's going to come and speak. But Lamaisa, he had a few events to take care of. He said, I should tell B'Shei, I should tell the Olam that he's interested and he would want to get involved. And but we don't need this. We don't need to bring anybody, because we have to bring a reason. We have to bring a psak from a rov why we have to stay here. That's what we have to say. To stay here, you need a psak, either parnasa, either other stuff. But to go, that's why Yiddish belong. There's an Indian that I think that we be able with Shem to pull off, that only us, and I think Masber something. We see a lot of kids of the Derech Mon Islam. Why? We don't know the cheshbonis, but one thing I know. When they come back with such a chiyus, a brand, that we don't have. And Hashem wants this chiyus. A brand, a chiyus, of Avodas Hashem, it's a different level. So sometimes the person has to go down to go up. So in a way, we are melumodo when it comes to chiyus, Avodas Hashem, brand. Melumodo. We're not fresh. We're not. Sometimes like a robot, put on tefillin like a robot. It's like your hand. It's not you. You means yourself. It's you. Who is you? The inside. The hands, it's not you. So sometimes we like, I don't want to say it that way, but we like frei yidden legabe that nekuda. We don't have legabe nekuda of the brand chiyus. We don't have it. So now legabe Eretz like this. There's a lot of yidden. Most of Eretz today lives in Eretz Yisrael. But could be they don't have that nekuda of Nachlas Hashem, Eretz Chemdo. They don't have it. We standing up and we getting up and we go. We have that b'chiyus, that brand. We basically doing it for all of them. And we could achieve so much what they can't. Only us. Something that we can do but they can't. Even they live there for 100 years, but they don't have that brand. We come, the ganze chesed, the ganze geschmack, the ganze ahavo, Nachlas Hashem, that will fix the Vayimasu be'eretz chemdo. 100%, there's no doubt that the Eibishter in Shomayim right now is tremendous nachas from us wanting and coming and undo what was done in the past to put us in Golus. Now, overturning this, and we want to go, we're chadashim to go, and with Hashem, you're going to be the Eben Pino, the Yesoid of thousands of more families to come. There's no questions about it. We matzliach, it's Hashem. People say it's matzliach, but it's thousands. We don't want the neshorim. There's kafir neshorim, right? The Nazi eagle. There was on the Nazi symbol there was an eagle. The biggest mass aliyat Eretz Yisrael was after the Holocaust. And kafir neshorim, Nebuch weren't zoiche, so it was through the Nazi eagle. We don't need that eagle. We want the best, not the American eagle, but the Eibishter's eagle. So it's something that you just have to make up your mind. You should, and when you do it, the ganze brand, like the Belchonon, I think it was nifted. The author of the Belchonon, I think is one of these days. The seventh port in Covenant. He told the people around him, you should know that we are the korbanos for our brothers in America. So our korban has to have the right kavanah. Otherwise, it's pigul. So have the L'chaim, us, in Tashma 120, our kavanah is the main thing. And let us have the right kavanah. I know it might be beautiful scenery, you have the beach, you have beautiful stuff you don't have over here. You have Avir Eretz Yisrael, pleasant, ruhigness. The Gemara says, in America, in Chutz La'aretz, you get lev ragos, you get angry, you get upset, fast, and Eretz Yisrael calm, like olive oil. So, there's a lot of plenty good stuff in Eretz Yisrael, even in the Chateva. But we want to have the right kavanah. So let us have the right kavanah in Mitzvah Hashem to make nachas ruach to you, Hashem Yisborach. This is the biggest tikkun of Ben HaMetzorim, that we want to come back, and we actually are coming back. Thank you everyone for coming, and the schus of this alone, of coming here, should be enough. Take it to Mekav of the Gula. Amen.
Amen.
Shkoyach Koldetsky. I wanted to start talking about the three main things that were on the ad that everybody saw. The most important, to be able to make such a decision, and those three things were English-speaking moistas, affordable housing, and opportunities for parnasa. So before I ask Rav Avram to come and discuss the affordable housing, I want to just take out one of the quickest things for now out of the way. Obviously, it's a much bigger discussion, the English-speaking moistas, but Baruch Hashem, over the past few days, we had two master mechanchim, if I can call them, Talmidei Chachamim, Gaonim in America, that accepted to be the ones that will be miyayitz within setting up the moistas. One of them is the 9th grade Maggid Shir in Riverdale, Rabbi Framowitz Shlita, and the other one is Rabbi Handler, who was the Maggid Shir in Lakewood, Mesivta for many years. I don't know how many of you know them both, but I happen to know both of them personally. Master Mechanchim, Tzadikim Mamish, and it's a big schos that they accepted that they will be the ones that we can come to for guidance of setting up moises, which is one of the most important things. So we're going to leave that on the side for now, because obviously setting up the moises is something that we'll see when the group starts forming and so on. There'll be much more to discuss. The affordable housing. Before we get there, Rav Avram, just one more quick thing. Another announcement that we're able to make tonight after speaking to someone earlier today. There's a chashuva askin in America. He has a very successful business. Some of you may have heard of the company Edison Home Care, I believe it's called. I spoke to Aryeh Blumenstein this morning, and he accepted on himself to head the committee, to be mishtadel, to bring jobs for this group specifically. He knows people, and he was very, very passionate about being able to help. It's not something that we would want to just put out there for anyone to help with. I spoke to him this morning. He immediately fell in love with the opportunity to be able to help such a chashuva group and movement. So Baruch Hashem, that's something else that this morning we were able to have someone commit to work on in the coming weeks, B'ezras Hashem. The affordable housing, Rabbi Avram Sharabi was very, very involved in looking at different properties around Eretz Yisrael, with the main focus being to find a community that we can bring a big kehillah to, that can be affordable for people to come and live and not to worry about big expenses. Yerushalayim, even if you go farther out, Beit Shemesh, Hamat Beit Shemesh, today the costs are very, very challenging. So this will make the opportunity to so many more people to be able to happen dependent on the affordable housing. Rabbi Avram put a lot of effort, and it seems that we found one location that seems that it may be the best, but again, that's for everyone to hear and to decide. Rabbi Avram, if you could please come and tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, I'll stop talking, and then Daryl could, I'll stop with questions. Anyone could just start throwing questions and go one by one. Okay. Hagdam, Eretz Yisrael right now, there's a big problem with housing in general. For Haredim is from people. For people, there's always a problem. But now in general, there's just no housing. The reasons, let's skip the reasons for that. So there's no housing in the country, and we want to take a group of Eretz Yisrael. Now, so we've been looking all over what will be the best area, and we looked at Venעלה, Amos, Beitar, a lot of different areas. Yerushalayim's out of the question, is too expensive for most of us. And of course, you know, if the Olam has a lot of money, we could definitely get a Kucha in Yerushalayim and build, you know, move, but I don't think that's happening. So we found this place in Akko. I did it actually through my brother. Arav Gershon Sharabi, he's a big politician in Israel. He has his own moistus up north. He's doing Baruch Hashem. And through him, we got this area in Akko. Now, I know I'm going to hear a question. I'm going to hear the who's going to say that it's by the Arabs. So let me explain to you, when you all went to Israel to your embassy, the American embassy, in your seminary, wherever you were hanging around in Pizza Huri in Gula, you all thought you're living in the, you all thought that you're excluded, you have no Arabs next to you. So it's not true. The people in Ramat Shlomo have the Arabs in Shuafat. The people, those that live in Rehavia, the rich Americans, the prime minister, the head of the Supreme Court, they all live in Rehavia. That's a 5-minute drive from the old city. All Arabs. Eretz Yisrael is full with Arabs. You got to get over this phobia. Eretz Yisrael is full with Arabs. 20% of the population in Israel are Israeli Arabs, and they're all over. That's the way it is. Now, this place that we have in Akko is 9 minutes away from the old city, where the Arabs are concentrated. Actually, they're Israeli Arabs, so they're less of a nuisance. So there's a location we have. Now, a few reasons we wanted this location. Because first of all, we need affordable housing, and that's impossible to find in Yerushalayim, Bnei Brak, or anywhere else. You could find some affordable housing in the West Bank, but again, as the previous question, so I don't think it's Negea. Even places like Beitar, Kiryat Sefer, it's already West Bank, and they're expensive. Smaller Yeshuvim could be a possibility. Many of us want to live like in a city. You want to have anything you need, health, doctors, anything you want. So Akko has 40,000 people, it's a city. So that's why we took that. Now if you look in the pictures I gave you, this location, it's called Shchunat HaKerem. I sent you pictures of what was there before and after. Is there any copies left? No, sure. So right now over there, it's insulated, it's isolated, meaning you have, on one side you have the railroad, which no one is crossing, because that's where Rechevet Yisrael, the main train passes by. And then we have, I'll take a look. Okay, this is what it used to, before they started building, this was the Shetach. Here's the first page. So I took pictures of every side, north, south. So all these pictures are when it was, before anything was built. If you go third to the last picture, this is the neighborhood. I put it in, in black. So right here, this is all orchids and farmland. Nothing is happening over here. Here's the train tracks, so you blocked off from the rest of Akko. To the north, you have a busy highway, a busy street. To the south, there's nothing there right yet. Again, the train tracks lock us in. So basically, you can make your own American enclave right here, and you're in Lakewood in Akko.
Yeah. Just mentioned there are other frum communities that are
in Akko,
around,
yeah.
but
I get it, yeah. True. Here's in the Google Maps, and here's up close picture. So another reason we thought of Akko, not only because we need affordable housing, Akko right now has a Frum community. They have their own Frum weekly newspaper. There are 3 Chadarim over there, Frum Chadarim that are operating, which could definitely help us if they, I don't know what the Olam would want or what would happen if we're making our own Chadarim or opening American classes parallel to an Israeli system like this. We have our structure and we just go on, but that option is there. And the mayor wants to work with us because he'd rather have a whole Kucha than just selling buildings and like this, he doesn't know who's coming in. Any guy could buy an apartment. He'd rather Americans are known, especially Israelis, look up to Americans. So, they think we're God's gift to humanity, which we are. So like this is coming. That's true. So they want us to come. If you come with a group, we can make demands. So Moshe, I'll just give you a few things that my brother was saying that he wanted to demand as a group. First of all, we want cheaper than the regular price housing. Secondly, we want, let's say someone has a kid that needs special ed. or older ages, like seminary or something that's not, we don't have that in our group. So we wanted to demand that the city should pay for transportation to or Haifa, whatever, Rechasim, the closest Haredi city, so we could have schooling for those for special ed or whatever age we don't have. We want that. We wanted a Rav for our group. We wanted a shul, which we already got. Another thing we wanted to know, the Israeli bureaucracy, it could be a nightmare. Let's say one of us goes there and they don't have Kupat Cholim, they don't have health insurance or something is missing. We wanted someone to be in the municipality, in the area, English speaking. Their job would be to just to sit with our group and with the mayor and the rest of the ministries and take care of the bureaucracy, anyone that has any trouble. So Maisa, as a group, as a putza, we could demand a lot. And it could be done anywhere, but I think this is the best option out of all the options we looked at. Any questions?
Just the timing, as far as if there's a group that decides they want to go up, even if it's within the next six months, let's say, are there other options besides for Akko, or Akko is the only option that?
So right now, in Akko, right there, what we have right now is they're building 8 buildings. Number 5 to 8 is already more advanced. They're holding it by kitchens, meaning you already design your kitchen, you put it in, you can move in 4 or 5 months. They're already holding by kitchens and mortgages. The rest, the other 4 buildings are a little beforehand. Could we get a group and build a building somewhere else? Yes, but that's going to take a few years.
What's the weather like in Akko?
What?
What's the weather like?
Actually, because it's on the water, you have a breeze.
I'm saying, is it like Neighbor?
No, cooler than that. It's more north.
Is it humid or is it dry in summer?
Drier.
A breeze.
Drier.
Yeah, you have the water that's warm.
It's much drier.
How far is it from Shalim?
Shalim from Akko is about an hour and a half. The closest Haredi places are all Haifa, which is 20 minutes away. So I know most Americans never heard Haifa. Who lives in Haifa? No, I'm saying Haifa is a very, very big Haredi population. You have Seret Vizhnitz with the Chassidim, but you have others over there. They've been very big. Right now, in general, the regular Haredi population has nowhere to live. What? Telstone is very small. On one side you have Abu Ghosh, which is the Arabs. On one side you have Tel Aviv, Yerushalayim. There's not much you could go and build. What? No, you're limited. Even if you find the property, it's going to be expensive. So we're very limited here. Beitar is the West Bank. Anywhere else, Yerushalayim is expensive. Nevark is expensive. Right now, the regular Haredi guy is moving up north. That's where they're going to Afula, Akko, Haifa. Ma'alot has a big Haredi community now. That's the only place to go. The Chassidim already went long ago. Kalin stole and moved to Tveria. That's where they're going. So
How far is it from Tveria, Akko?
Tveria about 40 minutes. But it's on the other side. But the Chassidim and Haifa are the closest points. I'd say for Cheder or special ed or whatever you need. Those are the closest points. Yeah. Sure, please.
Cars. I'm saying, I know that you have a car there that you don't like fall or whatever. Like,
What? You don't plan further or what?
different other government programs.
Right. Most Americans are used to cuts. So when it comes to things like this, like when it comes to these going to Exol, especially on Oleh Hadash, because you're an immigrant, you get a lot of benefits that others don't get. Like for example, I know like you want to import a car. Yeah, you got a lot of advantages. I'll have to look into that more, like how that works. But you get advantages that the local cities do not get just because you made Aliyah. Yeah. Because you can't afford it. It's just nice cars. Also, the next road is busing is so good that no one wants it. It's not worth it. Cars are very expensive. Gas there is also very, very expensive. And driving there is a nightmare. So I don't know if you want to. It's at your own risk. Yeah. Okay, when it comes to pricing your houses, in Akko we're talking about what the Israelis call a 5-bedroom. In Israel it works what they consider, when they say 5-bedroom house, they mean 5 rooms means minus a living room. So we're talking about an Akko, a 5-room, which is 4 bedrooms, $350,000. That's standard price. A 3-bedroom, which is in Israelis 4-room, $300,000. Now, if we come at it as a group, we can definitely make it cheaper. We're even talking about getting people to buy as an investment and to rent it out to others. That's definitely not as a method.
Do you have any idea what the rent prices would be like if that's?
A 4-bedroom would go about $750 a month, $750 a month. And when it comes to rent in Eretz Yisrael, And actually, it's not like here that you go, you fight with your landlord, you can fix this and that. Over there, rent in a way is cheaper, but your landlord does nothing for you. You pay your own taxes. If there's a leak, it's your problem. If the kitchen breaks, it's your problem. You take care of it. He gives you 4 walls. He's not afraid for anything. So for an investor, an American investor, it's gewaldic. On the other hand, the tenant pays less, but he's responsible for his own things. Things do tend to break less over there because everything is, it's not wood like here, so it's easy.
Mortgages,
Mortgages, the reason I saw right now are about 3%, which is the same as over here. It's structured different, but an American could get a mortgage over there. It's not a problem. Especially if you're living in the apartment, the government then gives you more benefits. Because it's like just like a first-time homeowner, first-time buyer, they have the same thing over there.
how much do you have to put down?
Actually, you have to put down more than here. Over here, it's usually 20%. Over there, you have to put 25%. Meaning the mortgage is about 70 to 75%, not more.
Is that only for the Aliyah?
No, even not
Aliyah.
Aliyah. Not Aliyah also. They usually what they take is 10% Aliyah, 10% before they build, and little by little. The last 10% is once you get your key. Comes with the mafkeh. But in general, mortgage is 70 to 75, not more. They're not going to give you more.
What is the cost of moving? About.
So it is expensive too because you want to move all your stuff. You mean with the kids and everything. It's expensive, but when you work with these organizations like Nefesh B'Nefesh and all these groups like what I saw, the government does give money. I don't know the amounts. They give you money and help you go. So that in a way covers that cost. Yeah.
You become a citizen, right?
Yeah, you could become a citizen right away. Yeah, you could do that, or you could move to Israel and then become a citizen, and also not lose. You won't lose your schuyot. You won't lose your benefits if you go to Israel and then start the process there. There are people that have been there for 20 years and then they got their benefits. You could do that too.
Is there a possibility of building houses here also in this neighborhood?
No, so now in Israel in general, the government is not building houses at all, no way, because they don't. There's not enough for whatever reason. They're not building enough, so they're only building as high as possible. So if you go to a neighborhood that was already built, you could get a cottage. A cottage is a duplex. You could get duplexes in Akko for $750,000. Not in this neighborhood. In the older neighborhoods, you could find that. But you're talking about $750,000. But new you're not going to get. You could find places like Male Amos. You could get you have duplexes over there with each one is 2 floors. So over there you can get 350. You'll get a nice second floor on that. But again, you're in the middle of the midbar. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Originally, when things were being discussed, we were talking about making housing that's something closer to what American families are used to. Obviously, these buildings were not built for us; they were built for regular families. And so, you showed me on the map that there was more areas in this neighborhood that can be built on.
Right.
Okay, so it's obviously something that's farther out, but. When I spoke to someone today that would be a potential investor, there is a possibility, again, we'll see how big the group gets, but there's more buildings that can be put up, that can be customized to have larger apartments, possible 2-floor apartments, more bedrooms, but these are the only things that were ready right away. The square footage in them is what approximately? 1,600 is the biggest.
Yeah, you have the penthouse on the top, if you saw, that's already more, but I'm talking about the 4-bedroom is 1,600 square feet. Now, in general, I saw even people with means that have 12 kids don't live in bigger houses than this. This is common. And by law in Israel, a 6-room house, which is a 5-bedroom, is considered luxury. You pay extra tax on it because you're living in luxury. You're in a hotel bed. So in a way, if you're going to Israel, you're going to have to get used a little bit to this lifestyle. We're not going to get what we have over here with the pool and all that. That's not happening. So, yeah,
That's our Mr. Nefesh. 200 years ago, the Mr. Nefesh was to travel there. Today we have to forgo the swimming pool.
Is there taxes when you buy the house? You have to pay some kind of tax? It's $350,000
No, sorry, Sahakal. I'm talking about Sahakal, yeah.
But those prices are prices if we're not going as a group. We can't expect that there should be
they're going to be
even
less.
better pricing.
Yeah. And the bigger the group, the better it would be. There's another cheshbon also. Once a group comes in, even if only 10% of the shkuna, 20% of the shkuna are this group, automatically people are going to start moving from Ramat Eshkol, from Beitar, from Ramat Beit Shemesh. Americans that have extra money, they want a second apartment, they're gonna be coming there, and the value of your house is gonna go, not even a question, in 5 years, you're getting on $150,000 to the value of your home. Not they moving, but for any investors.
There are, I know from the ad that was put out that's been going around many places, we have gotten phone calls of families that live in Yerushalayim. Some of them were thinking about moving back to America, and they heard, oh, there's a group coming from America. Are we able to join as well? So there are plenty of people in Israel, plenty of American families that are looking and waiting for such a thing to happen so they can join as well.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the box, different box?
Yeah, so what would the...
Rabbanim, like any rabbin that grew up.
There's no official role. We don't have an official community. So
I understand you're saying any potential candidate.
Yeah. Talk about the different.
Okay, right, so we were going to do basically one feedback from the group. We want to hear what you want. Like I just mentioned about schools. It could be done in many different ways. You know, the question is, what does the island want? Housing can be done in different ways. Employment, for example. People are going to need jobs. One idea we thought, title companies, like Madison Title has 2 places in Eretz Yisrael. Other title companies have a place in Eretz Yisrael, and they're very happy. So we wanted to create 4 different committees. One for housing, one for employment, call it employment or parnasa. The third one was going to be the regular logistics, bureaucracy and whatever that is. And the fourth, so we have the chinuch, the housing, the regular logistics running everything, and parnasa, that's employment, parnasa, housing, and education, the chinuch. And so we already mentioned 2 choshev names.
Right.
And once we have this, like this, we can start giving it the feedback. We want this, we feel we need this, and like this, we could create exactly what the Olam wants.
So
That I think is the best way.
When you say education, is it going to be like regular Lakewood, morning, would they Kodesh, and secular in the afternoon? Is totally
That's a very good question that I think we'll give to the Rabbanim that will be on the committee of what the smartest and best ways are to set up the schools, the Chadorim, the Mesiftas. Should we do it the same way as in America? Should it be done somewhere in between how it is in America? So those are questions that the Rabbanim, I think, will have the Chachma to be able to guide us.
Are the schools privately funded or government?
Chadorim in general in Eretz Yisrael are called, there are 4 different types of chinuch. The general, the Haredi, is called Rishmi She'eino Mukar, officially but not official. That's the official title in the Ministry of Education. So, and they're sponsored 60% by the government, 40% by private. All the rest of it, like La'achim, all these groups, they have their own, but basically it's 60% by government. So they have, right now, Akkad, they have 3 Chadarim that are totally from Chadarim, and we can work with them, or we could have our own, or we could have parallel classes, and in a way we build on their infrastructure, on their structure. They pose it, the 3 Chadarim for a city of only 40,000 people, which are not all of them Haredi people, so it's smaller classes. So in a way, it's easier to. It's not like we're making small classes relative to big, and they're gonna knock us out. No, we're gonna have. It'll be like 50-50, so we'll have a say in everything. But I think that. So if anyone wants to volunteer, ladies or men on the committees, I'll do that. Without.
Yeah, we have applications both in the back of the room on the ladies section, and there's applications over here also that important information that will help us be able to form the group and see the commitment that people have. We did forget to put on there if anyone has any skill or ability to help with a committee or with something else. I know one person called, they said they may know of a company that may be able to open up a small office to bring some employment. So different things. This group really, there's no one that's coming more than with anyone else. Everyone here has ability to contribute, to help make it happen, and that's really what we're counting on and hoping that we'll be able to do together.
When did you project to start the schools? Like, that's a big thing.
Right, so someone, it's a very good question. What do we do with schools? Let's say, for example, I could have
You have a school.
so On the application, there's applications on the back shelf on the ladies' side as well. One of the things that we would like to know is what do you feel for your family is a possibility of when you'd like to move. So there's three options here. We wrote in parentheses that minimum of 30 families, assuming that those families are coming with a certain amount of kids. Obviously the number is not something, it's approximate. There's three options. We're calling it after Sukkot of this coming Sukkot, and we'll say that's between Sukkot and Hanukkah, after, around Pesach time of this coming Pesach, and then the following summer. So the question that I think you're asking is, well, what do we, let's say families say, yeah, we would like to go up sometime before Hanukkah. We have 30 families, 40 families. What do we do about schools? So it's a very good question, and I'm sure there will be different opinions. I know from the people that I've spoken to, there are some families that are saying, what's the big deal? We'll go, as long as we have qualified rabbis, qualified teachers, we'll figure out how to temporarily arrange the schools. This past year, many people did homeschooling. They realized talents that they didn't know they had, that they said, no, we can do things different and we can do things out of the box in a responsible way. No one's looking to say, let's just jump in and figure it out. No, we have Rabbanim, we have a committee of Chashva Rabbanim that will guide us with the chinuch. How do we do it? We have these ages, this number of boys for these grades, combining classes. Things can be done. If the families have the will and the commitment to do it, then Be'ezus Hashem will be able to do it even with 30 families. Some people may feel, no, I want to wait until there's 80, 90 families. Gesundheit. But it could be done. So.
What about babysitting? You will know that they have. Are they babysitters on our
I'm sure there are, but for this group I don't know, there probably isn't. But it's some of the things that we'll be able to start. I'm sure, I know people that called in up until now, some of them gave information. One of them said, yeah, I have a play group. I would like to be able to continue that. Is that a possibility? The answer is, of course it's a possibility. We need to see. No one's going to say from a text message, yes, you're hired to open a play. But people are coming. There are Rebbeim that reached out and said, I'm currently a Rebbe for second grade. Is it a possibility I can continue? The answer is, of course it's a possibility. This group, as of now, is really, these are the people that are forming the community. People are coming with talents, people are coming with abilities, and we'll continue. There's someone reached out that's a Rav in a community in New York, in Staten Island, and wants to know, is there Klei Kodesh opportunities? The answer is yes, there are. We'll see. But of course, this community is being formed by people that want to come up and start a new kehillah. So there's many opportunities and many talents that people will bring that Be'ezus Hashem will be able to use that to start.
From children's wise, like what was the average ages?
Okay, so there's these are approximate numbers from people that reached out. From people that reached out, we counted from the information that was given to us, and again, this is assuming everybody that reached out would come. There's over 300 children from the people that reached out just over the past 2.5 weeks. Over 300 children, all ages. School-age children was a little bit less. School-age children was somewhere around 200 and a little over 200. Yeah, between call it kindergarten and 12th grade, a mix of boys and girls. There was over 200 children from people that reached out. So I'm sure that some of the people that reached out may not be interested enough now, and we need probably the 30, 40 families that say, no, we're ready to do this, and Be'ezus Hashem, many more will follow afterwards. So. How high are the buildings, Rabbi Brother? So there are different buildings. I know one of them was 19 floors. That's not something that I think we don't have. The other buildings were somewhere between 7 and 9 floors.
Is it cheaper for a higher building at different prices because of the low?
No.
It depends on the size of the dira, not the floor, as far as the price.
Better view.
When I lived in Eretz Yisrael about 13 years ago, people wanted to stay away from the lower floors because they were worried that if someone's going to come break into an apartment, they're the last one that they'll get to. So they're safer on top. Other people don't want the steps, so they go on the bottom. So everyone has their own preferences.
How many square feet is the smaller one, the 3-bedroom?
It's about 800.
No, the medium. The 3-bedroom. 3-bedroom.
When it says 5 bedroom,
It's 5 rooms.
Five on the sheets that have the number, the size of the apartments. It says 5 rooms, 4 rooms, and 3 rooms for anyone. 5, 4, and 3. For anyone familiar with the way it's done in Eretz Yisrael, that means 4 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and 2 bedrooms. They count the living room as one of the rooms, and they say a 5-room house is 4 bedrooms and a living room. On the application you'll see someone has a preference of an apartment size. It says 2, 3, 4, and 5 bedroom apartments. We wrote that on purpose, even though right now there is no option from these buildings for a 5-bedroom. But as Hashem, we will have, as the group grows and there are more places to build other buildings. Be'ez Hashem will do it in a way that suits the larger families, and they'll have.
next year, it has to.
For people that would want to move in the first, let's say in the next year, it would be a 2, 3, or 4 bedroom apartment. Okay, if I can just ask if anyone please make use of the applications that are here. They're very important to start getting an idea of what type of commitment. If there would be a plane waiting outside and we'd ask people to leave, it would be a different level of commitment. That's not what we're asking. We're asking people that are interested in seeing updates. And yes, we're interested in if things seem like they're working out, to be part of the first group. That group is what will cause the group to grow and get bigger and bigger and make it and turn it into a large chashuva kehila within 6 to 8 months. So, if you don't mind, if you know a family that would want to commit, possibly take an application, fill one out yourself, give it to someone that you know, and Be'ez Hashem, we should have the siyat v'shmaya that the people that came and showed the interest should have the schus of being from the first ones to start this kehila and to Be'ez Hashem open up the doors that we'll see hundreds and hundreds of more families to follow Be'ez Hashem very, very soon. Shukayach everyone for coming. We'll be here for questions, to talk about anything you'd like. Thank you.